There we go. Welcome to another little podcast we're about to do. Hi, and welcome to the People's Podcast. This is the number one weekly virtual esports cycling podcast on YouTube, according to us. My name is Nathan Krake, and my co-host is none other than Rob Zwifter Bane. In our podcast, we discuss the ins and outs of virtual cycling, riding, racing, and workouts. We look at current news and events, debate opinions, share tips and strategies for new and expert riders alike. Our show is live on YouTube every Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. BST, and Saturday, 6 a.m. in the morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time. In this week's episode, our surprise guest is photographer, videographer, YouTube, and friend of the show, Jay Derham. ZRL is kicked off, and we look back at race 1 and check out race 2. We take a fresh look at Zwift's upcoming improvements, and we find out a bit more about the upcoming podcaster battle charity race we've got coming up. We've got a couple of rides to rate, and don't forget our live quiz at the end of the show where you can go head-to-head with us and test your Zwift knowledge. Rob has put this one together, so I am definitely in the hot seat today. So it's time to get out of the saddle and in the drops. Play the intro. Rob, how are you, sir? Belated clap. Oh, intros, man.
Oh, I do love the belated clap.
Oh, gosh. Hey, mate, congratulations.
Well, I'm okay. I'm glad you've stolen my catchphrase. That's nice. And,
I know, I was going to do that, yeah. Look, this will get him worked up.
Yeah, well, now that I can't cycle, because you just take my channel if you want. I can't bike, so just take the whole bloody lot. Why don't you?
It's called appropriation, and it's completely acceptable.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's
good.
Yeah, I'm all right. I can't cycle. My bloody knees, bloody busted. So yeah, no more biking for me until they've operated probably.
Okay.
But yeah, it means I can spend all of my time trying to get correct information about ZRL routes. Absolutely,
because it's been a bit of a cracker, hasn't it? It's been good.
Yeah, I stayed up until 4 a.m. on Tuesday making the video. Well, into Tuesday morning making the video, ready to release on Tuesday, and then information leaked out that the segment details were quite the same.
Correct.
And I based it all on that.
A little bit different, weren't they?
Every segment was different, basically. So I just have to do that. I had to literally start again, put it in the bin, and start again. But then you had to stay up till was it 3 a.m. yesterday,
editing it,
or the day before. Oh,
but it's a labor of love, though, isn't it? I mean, you love doing it. You love helping everyone.
I love doing it once. Second time, not so much. I had to summon up false joy in some of the scenes. Oh, I'm going to say this again.
Well, it's good practice. Hey, during the week, we finally cracked 1,000 subs, which is fantastic. So, yeah, man, congrats.
Yeah, congrats to you, man. You've put so much work into it.
It's been a combined effort. So, yeah, mate, congrats. Every week, turning up, putting the effort in, but we also want to say big thanks to our fans who come back week after week. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Like without you subbing, time. It's just two men talking to each other over computers. So we really appreciate
and all of the other contributors as well.
Well, I was going to say, and our friends,
Jake,
fellow YouTubers, yep. I was going to say a special shout out to Andrew for his participation and helping launching the podcast as well. Hey, look, just want to say that very quickly before we get underway, I've got a little PSA, a little public service announcement. So we've met YouTube's threshold for global domination, monetization. So in this episode, we're going to trial some ads just to see what the experience is like for those that are watching, okay? So, but don't worry, the ads, they're skippable. So, and we definitely don't want to smash everyone with ads, but at the same time, putting together a podcast, each week isn't exactly free. So let us know if the ads are a pain in the ass or not, and we can definitely turn them off. But if you are feeling generous, you can always click the super chat and super stickers in the stream chat. These let you stand out in the chat, and we'll give you a special shout out too. And any of the money, the funds, that kind of stuff we're going to put back into the show to try and make it a better and more enjoyable show. So that's it. That's my little PSA over.
Going to the massive deficit that you've built up. It shouldn't go unnoticed either. It's going to take years to pay off.
Well, so far,
it really is not at all free to do this stuff.
No, it's there's a little bit of there's a little bit there, but do you want to know how much we've earned so far?
Ooh,
drum roll?
Ooh, go on.
6 cents.
Boom! Get in.
We've got 6 cents, so I can't exactly order the Lamborghini just yet.
Have you put it in a high interest account though?
Yeah. Well, the problem is that you've got.
Oh no, you're not allowed to take it out until you got $100.
Yeah, you can't.
They keep it anyway, don't they? So we've actually got it.
Yeah, we've had a couple of donations in the past, and they're just sitting there. We can't get them out, so it's just going to sit there. But I think Thomas, did you just? If you did, thank you very much. We've got a little big dollar sign there. I'm not too sure if that's a super sticker. I don't really know how it works that well. I've been reading up on it. Hey,
I don't.
Yeah, I've got to up your volume a little bit because I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Oh,
Can
really?
you up your volume?
Can I? Do I need to shout?
Oh, is that better? Yeah.
I'll shout all the time, then.
You normally do, don't you? How you would have been shouting in the ZRL?
I do quite often. Sorry?
You would have been shouting in your ZRL.
I didn't do it.
Didn't do it?
No,
you weren't you DSing though?
I was DSing, and I decided not to shout at them. They're too good and too nice.
You're too soft. You're getting old. Hey, all right. So first, I just want to say thank you to everyone in the chat there at the moment. We can see a whole bunch of people: Thomas, Brian, Darren, Vincent, Ben, Paul. Gosh, hey guys. So
good 2 Thomases. Great.
This is gonna make it really interesting. I know we've had a lot of people asking about the Zwift Racing Score. Did you want to have a bit more of a chat about that, as well as the some of the updates? Because we kind of talked about it last week, and I've had a chance to think about a couple of things I said, and maybe I got a little bit carried away, and having had some time to consider it.
You have advertised that we're going to talk about Racing Score, so we should really, but I don't know that much. I mean, I do and I don't really. I know that it's based off. So when we say it's based off, your seed is based off 2 different things.
Yep.
And that is a 30-second critical power. So a critical power is not the same as just your 30-second power. So
how's it different?
So it's the curves again. So they'll draw a curve between some points and then take the point at 30 seconds. So they might be taking, for instance, and I haven't looked at it, so I can't say for sure, but my guess is that they're taking the points maybe 15, 20, 30, 45, and 60 seconds, and they'll make a power curve out of it. And then they'll take the point with that line intersects at 30 seconds. So if you've got high 15-second power, or if you've got high 1 minute power, so it's possible that someone's got higher 30-second power than you, but you'll have a higher 30-second CP if your 1 minute is higher than your 50. You know what I mean? Depending which way the curve goes. If you're like this, if you've got a highish 1 minute, so I'll move my arms in. if you've got a highish 1 minute, then your 1 minute will be done. If you've got a highish 1 minute, then your CP will be higher than someone who's got a really high 15 seconds and a low really low 1 minute. And the same applies for the other one, which they include, which is your 10-minute critical power. So again, that'll be a curve probably between your 5-minute power and your 25-minute power or 30-minute power and something like that. So it'll be a lot flatter. But again, depending how the curves go, I look like that. All right, calm down. So it's not a simple thing to work out. So that's why I haven't done it, basically, because it's not. I'll need to work out your your 30-second critical power based on intervals that I don't know, and your 10-minute power on intervals I don't know, and then there's also they're mixed together in some ratio. So they'll take maybe 80%. I think it's very heavily weighted towards the 30-second. So they'll maybe get 80% of it is your 80% of your seed score is the 30-second, and 20% is your your 10 minutes. So it's bloody complicated to work out. And if they're just going to tell us anyway, I don't want to try and. I could try and work it out, but it's bloody hard.
Yeah, okay.
If they're just going to tell us anyway. So there you've got your seed score, and then you place into races, and then for every race result, they do a matchup against your racing score versus literally everybody else everybody else who's above you, everybody else who's below you. And given the difference in scores, if you're way above them in score and you beat them, then you'll have a very tiny improvement. Whereas if they beat you and you're way above them, then you'll have a major loss. I mean, say major loss, it might only be 3 or 4 points, but if there's 40 people in the race, then those sort of things add up a lot. And so they do that against everyone. Some will be pluses, you'll beat some people above you, you'll lose to people above you, and so and all that stuff will go on. But then they have a volatility index which says how much of all that winning and losing should affect your score. So they'll be playing with that as well, just called the K factor. And then they add all that together and say, okay, you've lost 4 points. Right.
And so,
or for me, it always seems, even if I come last, it's like you've added point, which makes no sense. But that should never happen.
Well, it seems to be that does happen. Well, the reason why I ask, or why I say that, is because in our Discord chat, there's a few people saying, "Yep, I've lost races, or I haven't come first, and yet my scores come up." So I guess that's one of the questions.
You should never come last and your score go up, but mine has, like, by a tiny amount. But that undermines the credibility in the whole thing. If it shouldn't go up at all. There should be no possibility of your score going up if you're last. That just shouldn't be a thing. But yeah, it's bloody complicated. It's not meant to be simple, but it should be understandable if you're willing to put in the work, which I am. But they're just not telling us the full details. But it should be based on the same thing that ZRAP, and ZRAP gives worked example, and you can work your way through it if you're willing to do all the maths, and you can come up with the same answer as Tim. You can work out exactly how everyone won and lost points in any race. But I can't with this one because
just don't have all the calculations. Well, and we're trying to get Tim Hansen back on the show too, but he's a bit busy at the moment. Be good to have him sort of take us through that as well. I did notice, I had a look at this on Zwift Insider's website. They've got some information about the Zwift Racing Score, but more so about how they're adjusting it out of the Zwift Lab events. And it was just interesting to me to sort of see how they've been adjusting it from month to month. And I've kind of color graded it just to give people a bit of a feel for what we're looking at here. And so they started out in July with the D grade, the 0 to 225, and then sort of C to D, B to C, A to B, and then sort of that top end A. And now in September, they've really increased the low end and the high end, and decreased the spots in the middle too. So that seems to be a bit interesting. So if you're unfortunate to be kicking up into that 650 plus group, then you're getting smashed in that top end of A.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of the issue, and this sort of makes sense, is that until it's enforced for the majority of races, the people at the top end, the people at the very bottom end, will tend to avoid those races because, just say I'm looking at 2 races, and the hilly race, my score's 680-ish or something like that, and there's one that I can enter a B pen for, which I'm likely to do quite well at.
Yep.
Or there's one that I can enter
The
Zwift Racing Score,
Yep.
which has got A pluses in and A's and so on, and I'm likely to come last.
Yeah.
You know, it's more fun to do well, isn't it? So
Oh, yeah.
I will more likely
smashed.
avoid that. You know,
Yeah.
I haven't completely avoided them, but
Yeah.
you know, if I've got a choice between the
It's the
two
same.
or whatever,
Yeah.
and the same applies at the bottom end as well, because you know they'll be going into races with C's and you know so on, and they'll I don't want to race against C's. You know, I'll race against D's, thank you. So you know it's bound to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
So until they fully enforce it into all of the pens,
And that's coming in October, isn't it?
it's meant to be, yeah. So hopefully then those, you know, once people are okay, you know, if I've got a racer with all A's, or you know, then it doesn't matter which one I pick, does it? So, you know, then you should see more people entering the A pens and hopefully A and D pens, and then those. Hopefully, then the boundaries can expand again, and I can enter B races again.
Well, yeah. I mean, I completely agree with you. I choose the category races above the Zwift Racing Scores at the moment because of that reason, because they're just a bit easier. But Brian White from the Spincast podcast show is saying that they're adjusting the groupings again and adding a fifth group for the 0 to 180. So I thought they kind of had five groups already. And now how are they doing that?
Yeah. That would tend to be a sixth group, wouldn't it?
That would probably be a sixth group. But then how
I mean, one of the great things about this, I heard, was that, you know, it makes it that you can really adjust them, and you can have, you know, beginners races where it's 0 to 100 or, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, that would be great, you know, to have this adjustable boundaries and just say, okay, you know, this is a beginner's race and so on. That'll be great. Yeah.
But then they also run into the problem now of, well, how are they going to include more categories? Because it seems like that's the way it's going. They've got to develop the game to include more pens, yeah?
Well, yeah, I mean, you would think you don't want it for every event. You don't want 10 categories for every event. It'd just be stupid, wouldn't it? But yeah, there's certain events where it would definitely make more sense to have more pens. Yeah.
What do you think?
But I don't know why. It just seems like a hard rule. It's like you can't possibly have more than 5 pens.
Yeah.
It just seems weird that, you know, there's no way we can't do it.
Unless they have got it and they just haven't turned it on yet. I don't know, but it doesn't seem that way because they've got to develop the maps and all that kind of thing. But what do you think about mass category starts? I know Darren's just touting on about that in the chat at the moment. I'm not a fan of them.
I've always quite liked them.
Yeah?
I've always liked them. Yeah, I love all, you know, Tour de Watopia, Tour de Zwift. I always love those sort of things. And yeah, I mean, especially if you get enough people in them, you know, get 100 odd people in them, then you can always find a group to ride with. You can have your own little battle, and you know.
But do you prefer that to over a race? Like, is it? Are you talking about a race here or just a big ride?
Yeah, a race. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Tour de Watopia is a race. Come on.
Anything you're into race.
It is. Of course, it's a race.
Workout's a race.
You know, no, everyone's race. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it feels more equitable, doesn't it? That everyone should go off together. These, you know, arbitrary.
Yeah,
let's give everyone gets a trophy. You know, let's give out 10 trophies now. There's now 10. No, five gold medals per race.
I don't know. I think with the mass category start, so I think it doesn't. It suits certain riders. So if you're a lower cat rider that can hold higher cats for a period of time, then you're getting the draft of that higher cat group.
Better riders.
Yeah, well, but you're getting the draft effect.
It suits better riders.
Does it? Because if they're better riders, then I should be able to go off the front at the start of a race and ride by myself at 350 watts for 10 minutes. But I can't. But I can do it and sit with bees and get the same distance. Does that make sense?
That's what bike racing is like.
I don't know. I don't know if it's fair or not. But yeah, everyone's got an opinion on that.
That's how bike racing works.
Yeah. But fair enough. So we don't really have much of a clearer understanding at this point on Zwift Racing Score that we can answer anyone's questions in any real detailed way. We've got to wait until...
Oh, come on, man. How much detail do you want me to go into? I just went through it. Mathematical bloody...
Well, except for the parts where you went, well, I don't know what they're going to do this about this, and we don't have enough information about that, and we've got to wait for them to do it for everyone, and... No?
No, okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to manufacture an argument. I really liked our argument last week.
Did you?
So
want to do it again?
Especially because I won.
Well, to be fair, I did get a couple of people on my side, but I think more people were on the idea.
Did you? Who?
Yeah. Well, Titanium Ben came around
on your side.
Yeah.
Who did?
Ben Pitt. He agreed with me, and that's all that mattered. We'll talk about the bikes. The bike upgrades.
Yeah. That was it.
Look, and to be fair, I think people are right. It's going to be really incremental changes, and it's more about the aesthetics, I guess, of upgrading and how it's going to look, as opposed to the performance improvements. But I still think that make it aesthetics and just make it look fancy. Don't change the characteristics of the bike.
Oh, sorry, I stopped listening then. Ben Pitt's kid, Ethan, has reached 40 weeks gestational age, which is quite nice. He was very premature. So, yeah, that's quite a nice milestone. So, good stuff there. And he sent me a picture. But what a cracking baby he's got. It made me question his parentage. In fact, I was like, it can't be yours. Too beautiful.
Oh, that's what we're about. We're about insulting our fans and
of course,
lineage. Can't be your baby. He's too good looking.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. So we'll wait to see what they come out with the bikes. But listening to the Spincast guys, the start of the week, it was interesting that they kind of highlighted this that I thought was interesting too, and I didn't realize it until they actually sort of verbalized it. But the fact that they introduced the HUD update as part of a Zwift 1.73 update at the same time that they brought out the whole "what's coming" email, which kind of made it all sound really confusing.
I'm sorry to sound argumentative, but no, they definitely didn't.
Well, they did. When they told us about the Zwift
It's not
update.
out yet. It's not out yet.
What? No, it's not out yet.
The bike upgrades isn't out yet.
Yeah, I know it's not out yet, but they announced it all at the same time.
Oh, you said it's part of the same update.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
No, they haven't done that. Oh, come on, what are we going to argue about?
I'm trying to make an argument.
No, you're not.
All right, what else is there? Okay, so what do you think of the HUD update so far? Tell me it's really good.
I didn't have it last week, did I? But it's underwhelming still, and it is slightly better than I thought. The gradient thing, I kind of like it in that it shows an extra decimal point. It's bigger. That's all I want. Basically, I just want a big gradient number. But in a way, I don't want everyone else to pay as much attention to it as I do, because I think that's where I get all my racing advantage. I paid so much attention to the gradient. But
so you're talking about the little pop-up that tells you what the climb is that you're on?
Yeah.
Yep.
As long as you're not doing a climb portable climb, in which case definitely won't tell you.
No, that's why. And I don't. Yeah, and have you noticed how it changes? Like if you're changing routes, it prematurely just cuts off the profile. So you're climbing up. It doesn't go all the way to the top. It just cuts off.
They really don't know what route you're on, do they? It's like it's a complete mystery until you take the turn. The game doesn't know what route you're on. It never has done. It's weird.
Yep.
They must have done something utterly weird in the background, and they can't fix it. They absolutely cannot fix it because they've tried and tried, and they just 100% cannot tell you what route you're on.
What does everyone else think about the HUD? I want to get some feedback.
Oh, I forgot about the chat. Sorry, chat. I'm trying to spark an argument, and I forgot to talk to you.
Oh, before we kick on, I'm going to create a poll, so you keep talking. We've got three challenges that were suggested in our Discord server. By the way, our link to our Discord server is in the description below. So if you haven't connected in there yet, you can do, come along, and you can drop a whole bunch of stuff in there as well. But so I don't know if our fans actually like us or not, because some of the suggestions that were coming through were quite brutal. Do you want to hear what they
I
are?
didn't see it. Yeah.
All right. And my apologies, I can't remember who said what. But essentially, one was to do a Z-Race race, a Z-Series race, standing up for the whole race.
Oh, they're determined for us to do that one, aren't they?
The second one was to do a race without any HUD or without any source, and with camera mode 8 on, which is the helicopter mode.
Oh, come on. That is just ridiculous. Helicopter mode.
Yeah.
You can't see it if you're under trees.
And yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, and the third one was I can't think of the third one was now. I'll have to look in Discord for a second. But the third one was so there was a HUD, there was the standing up. Oh, single gear. You've got to race in one gear.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
So you've got to pick the gear at the start.
JD has agreed to do my challenge if you win the
Has he?
if you win the quiz.
Does he know
I
that?
can't bike at the moment. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that the harder the better this week.
So the harder the better. Thank you very much. So I'm busily just creating a poll in the chat there for people to vote on. So you can keep chatting about that. Oh, tell us about so race 1. Well, we'll touch on ZRL now, but I wouldn't mind getting JD to have a bit more of a chat about that when we get him on the show there. Run us through race 1 and briefly, ever so briefly, just touch on race 2 for me.
Well, can we not do it the other way around? The race 1 was boring. It's a TTT. It was flat. My team did great. I had to pull out because of my knee injury, and they did superb. I did. Yeah, it's boring. It's TTT. You know what do you want to say? They all, people did well. Blah blah blah. The points race is far more interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, tell us about
Let's
race
talk
2.
about the point race.
Yep.
So point race is on Sugar Cookie, and it's got 4 sprints. Everyone here will have watched my Recon by now, I would imagine. I think
has everyone
like
watched
half
the
the world
Recon?
has watched my
If you
Recon.
haven't, you can't be in the chat.
Yeah. Ban them. Thomas Irving, he doesn't think that TTT is boring. But I mean, what can you say, Barry Thomas? It's probably the only race that you didn't go off the front. Anyway, so 4 sprints. FAL very strong. I don't know how much it's going to break up. How are people going to get away? I hope everyone doesn't just sit in for all the sprints. I hope we see with some breakaways.
Yep.
So yeah, and then there's the climb, and because it's such a steep climb, it doesn't really punish a breakaway because there's no draft on it at all really. So it's going to split up straight away, and there's barely any draft anyway because it's so steep, so fast.
Yep.
So yeah, I think people will get back together. There'll be some bunch sprints, there'll be some breakaways. I think it's going to be a cracker. It really is a great route.
And it's a long one too, isn't it? Like 40 Ks, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be super tough.
Yeah,
and it's that kick at the end as well. It's like, man, and after all those sprints, and then you got to do that 2-kilometer grind up to the bypass.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be, pretty darn tough.
Yeah, that's more than a kick. That's
more than a kick. It's a punch in the guts. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But I think that FTS is actually, that little segment is quite interesting. And you may have said this before or just now, but I was doing the poll. The fact that lots of people, you said in the Recon video that savvy racers probably will opt not to do that, not to.
I mean, I think I maybe overstated that. I think, if you're a top sprinter, you'll probably go for it anyway because 10 points is 10 points.
Yeah.
But I think they've nerfed it a bit too much. It was too strong before. It's too weak now. I think it should be 10 point. It should at least score 10 because it's such a risk going for it to get 0 points if you're 6th.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, and it's a long sprint as well to do FTS on. You know, 500 meters.
It's a big effort, isn't it? Do you think that that's going to be then a point in which some teams are going to initiate a breakaway to try and steal foul for the third and fourth sprint? Like, if you think about it, if a lot of races aren't going to tackle FTS because it's only literally, as you say, the fastest 5 races, they're probably going to just go through it at speed but not give it a shot. Whereas you're going to have maybe a handful of races.
I said the savvy racers. Some savvy racers won't go for it and just save themselves. But most people aren't savvy racers; they're idiots. They sprint for anything. They'll just see the banner and sprint towards it.
Without realizing it.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, any point to go for the breakaway, really. Maybe immediately after it.
Yep.
There'll be some chaos. I think, you know, really savvy teams will take advantage of the chaos after the sprint and, you know, launch people there. I think,
and go from there.
Especially, you know, there's a couple which, the last one. What's the last one? The descent. Woodland sprint, yeah, the woodland sprint. There is a good ramp after that, and you get a feather at the woodland sprint.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I didn't mention in the second version of the Recon video that I'd done. I did mention it a lot in the first one, but I'd said it so many times I thought I'd already said it. Anyway, so yeah, you could use that as a launch point for a breakaway. I think that'd be a pretty good place to go.
All right.
You know, people are going to be knackered. You know, just don't go for it. Do a 70% sprint so that you're in the mix, and then launch after that up the hill. Use your feathers, and people are like, "Oh no, I want to stay. I want to keep my feather for the big hill." And these people are going to come back. But you've got that, and then you've got the, you know, you can get into a formation if you've got 2 or 3 of you, and you can take advantage of the Barfail's bump and the rollers out of there. You know, you could get a fair old lead before the climb, and then, as I said, it doesn't really matter by the time you get to the climb, other than the additional effort you'll put in for.
I've got 2 questions for you then, before and then we'll get JD in. So my first question is, what would you do in this race with that sprint segment 2? What would you specifically do?
I think I'd go for it. Just because, I mean, I probably wouldn't actually, now that I think about it, because I've got 3 of the best sprinters in Zwift in my division. I've got Sam Atkinson; he's going to win it by a bloody mile, so I wouldn't go against him. So maybe, yeah, I'd probably keep Sam Atkinson's wheel, try and get on Sam Atkinson's wheel, see what he does, and see if I get second place. But I mean, I probably planned to go for it and then not after I did the first sprint and I'm knackered and it's only a little bit further. Yeah.
Okay, and my second question is, what's your bike choice?
Oh, probably the Pinarello with the disc wheels.
Yeah, Pinarello.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
What about you? What do you think?
I'm not sure yet. I was trying to figure it out. I think I'd probably go with, something aero, I think. My goal would be to try and go for the sprint segments, and then try and get some half decent points, finishing points. But it's going to be an interesting one. I'm just bringing
that will slow you compared to like an all rounder. The Pinarello with disc will slow you by about 1 to 2 seconds on the hill.
So it's not going to be too much of a difference, I think. But no, it was a good recon, by the way, mate. I've got to say thank you very much for that. It was a lot of effort.
Well, thank you. Yeah, combined effort. Thank you.
That guy racing is pretty good too, I think. Look at this.
Oh, yeah, he was tasty. Yeah, she battered the springs.
I was so cooked after this. I was done. And that's why I got dropped on the climb. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Hutto. Hey, mate. Congratulations. Got 1,000, buddy. So, it was... It's going to be a spicy one. All right. Hey, let's get JD on. I've got an intro. He's a videographer. He's a photographer. He's a YouTuber with a whole bunch of views there. Let's get him in. Jay Dirham. There we go. Hey, JD. Welcome to the show.
How's it going? How are you? Good. Appreciate the invite, guys. And congratulations on 1,000 subscribers for a channel. That's a huge milestone for any YouTube channel.
It's been a grind, I can tell you that much.
Cheers, bud.
But you've got a fair old whack of subscribers though, haven't you?
I have a few.
You've got a few. A bit more than us. How long have you been doing your YouTube channel for?
It's been about 7 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So
what made you start?
It's gone through a lot of iterations, and it's changed. I did some podcast stuff early on, and
I was looking at that.
Went into vlogging, and
yeah.
But I was doing film and video well before YouTube existed, so it was just kind of a natural switch, I guess.
And we're sort of talking about that just before the start of the show. Gosh, we do all that great talking before the show. It's a real shame.
Stop saying that. Stop saying that.
But what made you get into to doing all of it? To doing all this?
I guess it was just a natural progression from me.
Mm-hmm.
After I retired from fighting,
and we're going to talk about that in a second.
I basically picked up a camera. I wanted to make some films. I was mountain biking lots. I had a lot of friends that were pro athletes in the mountain bike world. I had access to things like the early Red Bull rampages, which I don't know if people are familiar with, where you go to the desert in Utah and you basically huck your meat off giant cliffs. So a lot of my friends were pros. We would go down there for a month. We would film and ride and do a bunch of crazy stunts, build a bunch of crazy lines for a rampage.
Yeah.
And we basically started making films because back in the day before YouTube, a lot of these guys on sponsorship contracts would have basically riders. If they got into films, they would get basically paid. If they got their photos on the cover of magazines, they would get paid.
Yeah, okay.
So we were kind of helping generate some of that. And, it just sort of evolved from there. So we produced 2 direct to DVD films back in the day.
Get out of here. Where can we find them? Are they on YouTube now?
They're on YouTube now. They're actually on my channel. They're buried deep. One of the things is when YouTube came first about, we tried to get onto YouTube, but YouTube didn't understand basically sync rights for music. Yeah. So a lot of times our stuff would have DCMA claims and all these kind of things. But we have the rights to all of these things, and we actually have like paper contracts.
Okay.
This is how old I am, I guess. So we would always tell YouTube, it's like, we have the rights to this music, and they'd be like, we don't care. And it's like, okay. So we stopped doing YouTube for a while because it just didn't seem like it was going to work for us. And I kind of regret that decision later on, because I think it would have done a lot better given the audience that we had that was transitioning from DVDs to sort of digital
to online stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so unlike YouTube to care about anyone.
Yeah. No, it was crazy. They would take our videos down and all sorts of stuff. And it's like, no, I'm the guy that made this film. And they're like, sure you are.
We don't believe you. Hey, so quickly tell us about
YouTube. They might take our 3 cents away.
Yeah.
Tell us about the professional fighting, because I didn't know that until just now.
Yeah, I was on the Canadian national team from 2007 to 2013. I was a full contact kickboxer.
Wow.
So I was on the national team. My last fight in nationals was in 2013. And it was a good career. I fought professionally. I was North American champ. I've coached fighters from boxing to kickboxing. I've got like seven North American champs. I've got 2 Pan American champs under my tutelage. I've had guys at
so this is
Worlds on 2 occasions for boxing. So yeah,
you're doing this currently, like you're coaching currently, or
no. I'm retired.
okay.
I still do things with the club, and I still show up from time to time. Every once in a while, I'll step in the gym. But I mean, it's a tough sport. It's tough to coach people as well, because you are basically, at that level, you're giving your entire life to an individual. So sometimes there's disappointments that happen. Somebody will train for something, and then they're just like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And you've dedicated years to getting them to where they wanted to go. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I've had fighters. I think the last fighter I had was in New York City for Worlds. So that's
incredible.
It was good. It was a good time. Yeah.
And then, so you retired through injury, or just moving on to something else?
I retired when I was 34, basically. So for fighters, that's getting a little old. I mean, you can only get punched and kicked so many times before it starts to have an effect. And you kind of say you've had enough. And I mean, it's only a matter of time before, in that world too, that somebody that you don't know just comes in and will beat you, and badly. So
just clean your
time's limited. It's, any good fighter realizes that. Sometimes we have a hard time admitting it, and a lot of times our egos get in the way. But at the end of the day, I mean, I love the time that I spent in the ring, and it was a great experience, and worked really hard for it. And I enjoy reminiscing about it every once in a while. But it's almost a lifetime ago now.
So what weight category were you in?
I was a middleweight, so I fought at 165 pounds, but I walked around at about 185 is my actual weight.
Okay, all right.
So I'd cut about 20 pounds for a fight. Yeah.
Damn. Ooh. Knocking off 10 kilos would be a bit of a trick. But yeah, for everyone else,
a lot of it's water weight, and a lot of it's dieting up beforehand, and then after the weigh-in, which was typically the night before the fight, you would go and eat and rehydrate and all that kind of good stuff. It's horrible for the body. It's awful. Yeah. I'm sure people have seen stuff if they've watched any kind of fight sports, especially with, things like the UFC, where they've had sort of like reality shows with these guys training as fighters. You'll see what guys put themselves through, and it's brutal. It's not healthy. It's a little bit dangerous as well. Yeah. But it's all part of it, because you can't, in a weight category, you want to come in at the top weight of that category, which usually means you're anywhere, from 10 to 20 pounds heavier when you actually go to fight, rather than being right at the bottom. Because if you're at the bottom of it's much like cycling, right? If you come in right at the bottom, you're probably going to get smashed. Yeah. Is what's going to happen, because you're going to be fighting a much bigger, stronger opponent.
Sorry,
and that might become more of a thing with the weight loss thing might become more of a thing in e-cycling as well, with if weigh-ins become more common.
It might. I hope it doesn't. I really do, because it's not a healthy thing. I think everybody here that cycles, because everybody rides on Zwift, I'm sure if they watch their weight, you can start a ride. I can lose 10 pounds in a ride if it's a long enough ride. It's just from dehydration. But it's not terribly healthy. And you're trying to stay hydrated during that time too. So, I mean, esports, it might happen, but if the weigh-in is super close to the event start, it's not advantageous, right? Because you've burnt off all the electrolytes. I mean, they've got some great electrolyte drinks now for hydration for cycling. Back when I was fighting, basically we would lose all this weight, and then it was like Pedialyte that we were drinking, like to basically get our levels back to normal. And
I suppose the difference is with fighting, they have it the day before, so that you've got a chance to make the weight if you don't make the weight, because it's a boundary rather than what weight are you. It's like you've got to make the weight, haven't you, rather than what weight are you.
Yeah, and most organizations, they want you to make weight anyways, because if it's a carded event and you are one of the main fighters on the event, it's not good if you don't make weight, and it's not a title fight, or it's, that fight's not going to happen, or they have to substitute somebody or something along those lines.
So what do you mean? They want you to, so do they give a bit of leeway, or?
Well, I mean, if you don't make weight, you don't make weight, but they'll typically give you the time that you need. I mean, well, most people are coming in close. It's not much. I mean, sometimes you're stripping down to absolutely nothing to make weight. I mean, it's, I've seen guys basically chew gum because they're so hungry, just to kind of be chewing on something and spitting into a cup, because they don't want to consume any fluids.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Or wearing rubber suits, I don't know if you've ever seen them before. They're like made of rubber, so you sweat and
Just
then
sweat it
go
out.
out
I've
and
seen a lot of
stepping in
them.
the sauna,
Yeah.
throwing on a toque, and getting a bike in there and working. It's horrible stuff. It's
No,
I
that
highly
sounds brutal.
don't recommend it.
So
Yeah.
then you with your cycling, then what was the transition from that into cycling?
Like I said,
into
I went
online
from
cycling?
to online cycling. So
To Zwifting, yeah.
in the process of mountain biking, we were scouting for the third film. I was up in the mountains in Cuspin, BC. I was riding across a crossface of a mountain. So basically, it was a 150-foot vertical drop on my one side, and I was
I'm not
cooking
liking where this
down
is
there.
going.
I hit a bump. The back end got loose, threw me off, and I went over the edge. I fell 75 feet, hit a
Whoa.
tree. I was knocked unconscious. Basically, they thought I was dead because of the height of the fall.
Oh,
Cracked my helmet, a bench, pierced my riding goggles, because a lot of times we like the MX goggles.
yeah.
Had pierced it, just missed my eye. I've got a little bit of a scar over my eye where the branch kind of hit me, and I landed on my back, and a rock pierced my back about 1.5 inches, 2 inches from my spine.
Oh,
So I was completely out. When I woke up, I was looking at the mountains on the other side, not quite sure how I got there or anything like that. These guys were trying to get down to me to basically recover my body. And
yeah.
when they got down, I was actually snoring because I was completely out cold.
You
I
were
don't really,
done.
I don't remember much of exactly what happened. I can kind of piece together what happened. But like I said, the tree stopped me from falling the full 150. So that's good.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, I messed up my hip. I had a bad concussion. I had like some cuts and stuff like that. Their main worry is that I had broken my back and neck, especially when I was complaining of back pain when I finally woke up. But I didn't know I didn't know I'd landed on a sharp piece of rock and it had pierced my back. I just felt pain. But I could feel my toes, or I thought I could feel my toes. I was getting, it's a scary thing. You get a little bit worried. I got airlifted off there. I got sent to a hospital. They took one look at me and they had to send me to another hospital because they weren't capable of dealing with my injuries. So after about $45,000 in helicopter rides, we got to hospital. They did checked. My spine was fine. I walked out of there on my own power a couple days later, really banged up, but I did a number on my hip. Yeah, I did a number on my hip, and ultimately what happened was I had an impingement in my hip. I put on a ton of weight until I got that fixed. And then once I got that fixed, I started to ride a road bike to basically lose weight to get back so I could go back mountain biking. But I've never gone back to mountain biking. I've just kind of stuck with road and doing those kind of things. So it was a bit of an adventure.
Wow, that is just phenomenal. And then,
yeah.
Very quickly, tell us about, and we'll come back to Zwift in a minute. Tell us about your musical experiences.
My musical. So obviously, absolutely destroying myself on a mountain made it so, and having a hip impingement, I couldn't ride. So a big thing when you're filming and photographing mountain biking is that typically you have to access the same stuff. So riding mountain bikes, if you've ever done DH or big mountain biking, it's a lot of the stuff is so steep you can't walk down it. You can't. You get shuttled to the top or dropped off at the top. It's kind of like skiing, and you ride down. If you can't ride it, you can't film it pretty much. And a lot of times when filming my friends or a lot of the pros, you need somebody to ride with that camera as a follow cam. So I was that guy. So while I was never really in my films other than a brief appearance of it was a film by me, a lot of times like the helmet camera footage and all that kind of stuff, I'm following these guys down these things, which is crazy too, in a sense, because their sense of what is big sometimes is like, and what's small is completely different to my scale of what's big and small. So it can be entertaining. So I needed something to do. So the transmission for me was that I had some contacts in music. I started photographing music. And then from there, I sort of built a clientele. So I've worked with all sorts of major bands. I've done a lot of stuff in metal. So guys like Slayer, Megadeth, Metallica, Black Sabbath, Canadian wise, guys like the Tragically Hip, the Arkells, Red Hot Chili Peppers, a wide variety of bands. Like my website is jdurham.com. You can see a lot of my work there in music. And that was just sort of the transition because I didn't have to climb mountains to do it. I just had to show up in an arena, stand on a flat floor, take some photographs, and they were all super happy. So it's nice though. I mean, it's a different job too, because you get to, sometimes it's just here. Sometimes you get to tour, which is nice. So yeah,
that is just phenomenal. And so, what do you think? What's your your most favorite band that you photographed?
They're all fantastic people. I'm not going to pick a favorite because I'll just upset people. But it's I have some really great clients. I work a lot like with the Offspring. Anytime they're here or anytime they're in Canada, I work with those guys. Rise Against have been absolutely phenomenal.
What? All these Rise Against the Machine?
Not Rage Against the Machine. Rise Against.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, it's and that's a great photograph of Flea, and as well as the Tragically Hip and Greta Van Fleet and all these guys. That there's a lot of different stuff in there.
Great shots as well.
Phenomenal.
Thank you. Yeah, so
Axl Rose.
Tons of fun.
Who did you say that was, Rob? Where?
No, I don't think it was. I thought it was Axl Rose for a second, but it's not.
No, I've never worked with Guns N' Roses, unfortunately.
That is just absolutely phenomenal.
What's Dave Mustaine like?
Dave Mustaine's a nice guy, super nice guy. He's
cool,
super quiet.
Yeah,
it's
Do you find that's the case for a lot of musicians and people who are in the limelight? Do they have one persona on stage and then they're a completely different person you would never have thought of when they're off the camera?
I would say when they're working, they're very professional, right? So they're getting ready to do what they're doing. So, I mean, they're focused on going out there and giving a great performance. Much like when I'm there, a lot of people say, oh, you must, see some amazing bands. I do, but a lot of times I don't really hear what's going on because I'm so focused on capturing the image versus, listening to the music at that time, if that makes sense. So you're very focused on what you're doing. So a lot of times, they're very quiet, but, any artist that I have direct contact with, they're always super appreciative. They're always, happy to see you. It's great. It's a wonderful job.
Yeah. Okay. So, your YouTube channel as well. I was having a quick look at that very quickly, and we'll finish this off and get into Zwifting. But you've got some videos there that have got 500,000 views.
Yeah. So my channel sort of took off. I was going to Singapore to work on a documentary, which I'm going back to work on again here in the coming months. And before going off, I had a friend that had mentioned that there was this new shopping mall that opened and that it was completely empty. There was nobody in there. And what it was this mall had opened and they were selling the units versus the typical rental thing. But a bunch of real estate speculators went in there, bought up everything, and then it never got rented. So it was this completely vacant shopping mall that was wide open. So I went and filmed it and released it and didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was a really cool thing that happened. And when I was in Singapore, my phone started going crazy and it had gone viral. It hit, 500,000 views in a few days. It was absolutely insane. It's, it was quite the experience, but I mean, it was great because it launched the channel, got me past that 1,000 threshold very fast.
Yeah, very fast.
And the watch time hours, because that's shortly after that was made. I was monetized at that point, but shortly after that, they switched the rules to what you guys have to deal with, which you just obviously got the go ahead for that. But when they switched, you had to have that still. But because of that video, I was easily in the clear.
Yep.
You seem like a natural entertainer, though. Is that the case? Did it come from fighting, or is it?
No. I am a complete and utter introvert. And to be honest, I do this because it makes me so uncomfortable.
Right. Okay.
And I feel like that's the challenges in life is you have to do things that put yourself out there that make you uncomfortable so you can improve on things. So I appreciate I take that as a great compliment because I really do feel that I had to work. If you watch some of my earlier YouTube stuff, you'll probably be like, yeah, okay, I see it.
Yeah, no, same.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Nathan,
I don't know if it's the same for JD, but I can't. The videos, like, I can very rarely see any of the video. It just come back now as it happens, but I'm mainly just saying a big J for JD. Are you getting that, JD, or
I'll just
what's that?
Switch scenes
in Video Ninja. I can usually see the visuals, but I can't see the visuals normally. It's just changed back so I can now, which is the first.
It's flipping on and off, but I've got the
it's just gone off
channel
again,
running as well independently.
Yeah, so.
It's just, but there's a delay.
The quality of the room is. I've just dialed back a little bit because I noticed that too. So you'll get poor quality, but everyone else gets awesome quality. So just there you go.
I don't mind poor quality. It's just I couldn't see it at all.
So JD, tell us about with Zwift. What's your opinion on the HUD update? I'd like to know what you think about that.
I think it is good for Zwift as a whole. Mm-hmm. I like that they allow you to customize it and everything. I won't use it personally. Okay. I spent a lot of time doing the sauce thing. Mm-hmm. I like my sauce setup. I think sauce has a lot more advantage still. I think a big miss for Zwift was the fact that they did not include draft. I don't know why they would not do that. Mm-hmm. Just because it's such an integral part of the game, especially in racing. And it's good to know if you're really getting good draft or, you're slightly out, if you can ease off and drop in. I think it makes a huge, huge difference. I see you've got the video up of the WTRL team time trial. That I used the HUD just because it was with the team, and I just wanted to see sort of everything that was going on. I just wanted to kind of test it out. But I think it's a good, with the colors, the ability to kind of things. I don't know why they put TSS in there. Like, who cares when you're riding? That's an after the fact number. But I think it's a good move. I think it may be prompted by what Sauce has done a little bit, that there is a demand for it. Hopefully they will build upon it. But I think it's a move in the right direction. It's better than what they had.
Yeah. Yep. All right. JD, hang around. We're going to go and do a Rate My Ride, and then we'll come back.
Yeah.
Rob, we've got hang on, I got an intro first. Where's my intro? I've lost my intros again. Rate My Ride.
I haven't had a chance to watch this yet. I've been so busy.
That's all right. Hang on one second. Yeah, this is going to be Jess Hamilton. So she put hers in the Discord channel. We've got a channel there, a chat channel for Rate My Ride. And
I might have to watch it separately because I can't see the visuals consistently.
Hang on one second. I'll see if I can. Are they just glitching? Are they?
Yeah, I just see a big J most of the time.
Oh, big J. That's no good.
Yeah, I've been trying to tell you.
Hang on one second.
Oh no, the link is to Snowy's ride. What
link?
The link in the
run sheet.
The run sheet, yeah.
Hang on one second. No, I'll try that. There we go. Is that any better?
Wait. I can see it at the moment. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's just power on. I'm gonna bring up. So Jess, where was my intro gone?
Long time subscriber and commenter. She helps us out in all sorts of ways, doesn't she? And great racer.
Yeah, for sure. So this is her right here. But first,
and amazing sauce.
There we go. Okay, so Jess Hamilton, threw this one in there, and she does. She actually, I was chatting to her in the channel, and she does a bit of IT development work. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jess, if you're in the chat.
A bit. She's like goddess. She's like head and shoulder. If you need to know anything, Jess is the person to go to. Yep. She's just head and shoulders above anyone else I know.
So she threw this in there. This is. I've slowed down just the start of it because I thought this was actually pretty cool, and I'll bump up the volume a little bit for those that are listening. But she does a great job with her intros there. And then we've got that's her source setup on the screen, which I think is pretty cool. So
pretty cool. It's the only one that I prefer to the HUD.
Really?
And I don't particularly like the hood. Yeah. You can see the position, you can see the gradient. It's just amazing. You can see
So
how far behind
this is stage
the
2, the
riders.
Pinarello
I'm like,
powered park perimeter loop. And so this has been the one that's been on the go this week. And she does a fantastic job here. Now, I have sped up a little bit only because, well, it's long if you watch the whole thing, but certainly I think she does a great job.
We can't watch 35 minutes of riding or whatever.
No, that's right. It's this little punch up here that always gets me. It doesn't seem like it's a lot, but it does take a bit out of you. But she does a great job here of just sitting with that front group. She bridges across to about 6 or 7 riders on the front there. Yeah.
Never taking the front, but, being in touch with the front.
Being on the front, being with the front.
Especially, first lap. No point in really going off the front unless you're going to solo for 18 kilometers or something.
Yeah, you would never do that, would
you? Has been known. Yeah.
So it does a fantastic job here. Keeps the power pretty even. Hits the front just a touch there, but I think that's just the surging of the rollers that sometimes that happens.
There's no excuse for being on the front if you don't want to be on the front. Are they? You're deliberately on the front, or you're not? And it's a mixed race, assumedly, is that
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Which again, it just heightens that that level of how good the race was, because she's racing against guys here. Now she's got where are we? We're 10Ks in. We've got 9Ks to go. So I think she's just finished the first lap, coming around for the second one now. And the group's dwindled down. But still, she's pulling averaging somewhere around that 250 mark, 235.
Yeah. So next time, if she's got it in her, is the next time to, if you've, to go off with the front a bit. Instead of being the first time round, if you're with 40, then you've got people from behind who will help catch you up to the front. Whereas second time, you need to be, you need to be in top front. 4. Yeah, kind of thing.
Because this is the route where it's easy for a couple of riders to make that breakaway, and if they do it at the right spot, it's hard to get them back, especially on these little punchy bits here, these pinches, where it does kick up 8%.
Darren won with a breakaway from here today.
Yep. And she almost came away then, but managed to get back on.
Almost coming away is the ideal, isn't it? Almost getting dropped is perfect. That means you're not using too much energy, does it? Yeah. I don't think she was out of the draft there, so almost getting dropped is perfect. I think.
But she's really positioned herself really well just in this last 3Ks. Just sitting in the back nicely, letting everyone else do the work.
That is nice. That's staying fourth. You want 3 or 4 bikes in front of you if most of the time, almost all the time, until the finish, until you decide to go.
All right, so we've got just 2Ks to go.
Oh, I wish Source had your power-ups. That would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's the only thing it's missing. That's the main thing it's missing, really, isn't it?
Yep. And so I've got 1K to go, and this is where it's starting to get a little bit spicy now. Powers are starting to kick up, and a few of the guys are going off the front there. Puts the power down, comes around. I think just snaked fourth in that.
That was pretty bloody good.
It's a pretty good race.
You're not allowed to give any more A's. You've used all your A's up.
I can't give any more A's? Can I give
No, you've given A's for everything.
Because I love them all. They're all great. What do you think, Rob? What would you give it?
That's not the point.
What would you give it? And JD, I'm going to ask you too. So
it's very hard to see how she could have done much better there. I'm just trying to think.
It's a tough one.
I think she made. I tell you what. There you go. I am being very critical, but I did love it as well. But I think she should have found a place where she could have split the group up after the climb. Obviously, I don't think she could have made the climb any better than she did. She was obviously hanging on a bit, but I think she could have, give it a little burst, try to split her up a bit in the approach. She was a bit tentative, waiting for the sprint, but I don't know. She was unlikely to be the best sprinter, I think. But I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to go B.
B, yeah.
But I do love it.
Yep. JD, what would you think of that race?
Just harsh.
I think it was a phenomenally run race. I'm going to go with an A minus.
Ooh, okay.
I think what I would like to see is, and this isn't into the drafting thing, is typically when you start going off the front, if you know you're going to get launched off the front,
Yeah.
give it a couple more pedal strokes and put some pain on the people behind you.
Oh, okay.
Just make them chase a little bit more. If you've got that momentum,
Yep.
make them chase that a little bit more, and then let them pass, and then suck back into the draft. I think it's
Okay.
It's a
Interesting.
good strategy sometimes.
Yeah, I like that.
And you don't see it a lot.
All right. So you've got an A minus. I'll go with a B plus. Because it's a mix.
Because you've run out of A's.
It's a mixed race. That's
you've run out
super
of
tough. And then it's a tough route too with those punchy rollers. It's that's a lot of hard work. So well done, Jess. Good work. If anyone else has got rides they want us to check out, drop them in the Discord channel, and we'll
Right,
have a
but
look at
not
them.
Fridays. If people start dropping them on Fridays, we do not get a chance to look at them.
We don't
Like
get a
neighbours
chance to-
asleep. Crying out loud,
Early-
stop dropping. Or they just like rate your ride, and then like there's nothing all week, and then Fridays, like, oh, it's 10. Like, come on.
What do you think of that
The
route,
rubbish ones.
JD?
Come on, you
you've done that.
egotist. You must
You've
do
done that a
rubbish.
couple of times.
You must do let me speak for once, Christ, man. You keep saying, Rob, you can speak for 5 minutes, and then you just talk. Let me speak. Crying out loud. I barely said anything. Yeah. Start sending some rubbish rides, you bloody egotists. What about when you come last? JD's the only one who sent one. The way he's done terrible. Nobody else has sent a rubbish ride in. You egotistical wazzicks. Come on. I know you do rubbish rides. Send them in.
I think my race, I was dead ass last, wasn't I? Was that the race I sent in?
Was it? You should be damn proud of it as well.
I am absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean that is the ZRS score at work there.
That's it.
Yeah.
What do you think of stage 2, the park perimeter loop as a route?
I think it's a great. I enjoyed racing it. I'll say Stakes and Chains is in the chat watching the podcast right now. He was in the race there, and I want to say he ran a phenomenal race.
Yep.
Definitely go watch his video if you want to see a good, entertaining race. Like
Mm-hmm.
he broke that group apart.
Yeah.
It was,
Okay.
At the top of that climb, it was a good move. It was a really good move.
And so,
I'm going to interrupt again. I'm going to interrupt. Right. I tell you what, I've got really into. Have you seen Randy races bikes? She's doing the Iceni tour thing that we previewed last week.
Yes.
Oh, what a racer she is! She's a proper racer, outdoor racer, and she's a sprinter. So I'm really bought into the Iceni series now, and seeing how she does all that. So yeah, that's going to be great.
That's going to be coming up in about, I want to say 12 hours ish on ZMS Esports Studio. Hop along to their YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the chat there.
Are you commentating?
Not commentating, but certainly am helping behind the scenes.
Oh, are you? You're behind the scenes as well. Front of the scenes, back of the scenes. Blimey.
This is being commentated by Emma Martin. So, she's an
I love Emma Martin as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's my favourite commentator apart from you.
She's pretty great. Oh, thank you very much. So go along and have a look at that. Hey, quickly, we're going to move on to the quiz super soon, but I want to ask one question, JD. Are you doing the ZRL season this year?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think? That's my main thing on Zwift.
Yep. Okay. Cool. So, what do you think of race 2 coming up?
It's gonna be interesting. It's going to be tough. I think there's going to be a lot of people going out really hard to grab up those early points. I think there's going to be some people that sacrifice end score versus fastest through segments and being first for the first few. I think you'll see a lot of the stronger teams really kind of push that.
Yep.
And maybe try to break the initial group apart. I don't know how your guys' divisions run, but the one I'm in, there's definitely a push at the beginning to split that field as quick as you can.
Yep.
And, kind of give yourself the best opportunity for those segments, because the fastest through segments are typically with the main group anyways. Seldom do you see somebody pick up points. Although I should say that we saw a team last year that did nothing off the start. We're rolling out at 125 watts and did not care about their finish time and absolutely blew up the fastest through segment and did quite well. But
yep.
It was an interesting strategy, but I mean, ultimately it didn't push them to the top of the table.
No. Yeah, fastest through isn't as worth as much now. I don't know if you've seen my Recon, but
Yep. No, it certainly has changed a bit. And you're right, Rob. I think it's swung a bit too far the other way now, and it's all focused on foul points. And maybe there's a happy medium they can find with that.
Yeah, I mean, I did complain about it, how strong it was a lot last time, so I can't really.
You can't go back and tell them they've got it wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, very quickly, I just want to touch on the podcaster battle charity race that we've got coming up. So this is an event we've got created. It's on Saturday, the 2nd of November at 8 p.m. BST, and Sunday, the 3rd of November for Australia. It's a battle between Holly Bergen from the Utopian Weekly podcast and myself. It's 2 laps of the Ocean Lava Cliffside Loop. We've got 2 teams. It's open to all categories, so you just got to choose a team that you want to go into. Choose the D team. That's my team, because I do need some extra numbers. Holly is sprinting away with rounding up and recruiting a whole bunch of people.
How is she doing this though? How is she doing, what is going on here? Right. So I'm gonna name some of the traitors that have signed up to Holly Bergen's team. So we've got Dave Beachy.
Yep.
I've got Georg. What's going on?
Peter.
Jess Hamilton.
They've all jumped ship.
I don't know. Miguel. Thomas Sorensen. She's got Thomas. Peter Twigged. How's she done this? Like, Thomas has been she's been a guest on our podcast for a start.
I know. This is why I'm putting a shout out now to try and get some people to come across.
Why are they why are they on the? Are they also in the Watopia Weekly podcast? Do they go there as much as they come here?
Well, I think she's been just recruiting from our Discord channel. She's just come along and gone, all right, I'm going to snap everyone up.
How is she doing it? What is she giving them? Is she giving them Yorkshire tea or something?
And pudding.
What's going on?
Yeah. She's promised a lot of
Yorkshire
that.
puddings.
So we're doing it for charity.
Traitors.
In the description, there's a link. There will be a link.
She's got Barry White as well.
To each of our charities. And so the object of the race is to try and get one of us across the line first. And that's it. So either Holly finishes first or I finish first. But really, it's going to be about how much money we can raise for each of our charities.
No. Mainly about us beating the Watopia Weekly.
Oh,
That's
it's completely...
Yeah, okay, we'll raise some money on the side.
It's completely about that.
Really, come on, man. It's got to be about winning.
Yeah.
It's always a race.
Everyone's got, there's a predefined kit for each pen, so everyone knows where they are in the race and who their enemy is, who their competitors are.
Josh Walder's there as well. She's got everyone.
Yeah, she's doing a great job. I've got to start playing catch up now. But it's on.
You've got me.
I do have you,
Nathan.
Yep, I've got a few. I'm gonna start.
If I'm fit.
I'm going to start.
Neil, Ryan, Marky Mark. God, the true loyalists. The loyalists versus the traitors. That's what we should call it.
The loyalists versus the traitors. And so I'm just, and while we've got JD
Jared,
on the spot here, JD, have you signed up for this yet, or you're going to give it a miss?
I have not, because I'm not even sure. I don't even know what AEDT time zone is. Australian.
Well, I think it's about
that could quite easily be 3 o'clock in the morning for me.
No, I think it might be in the afternoon for you.
Oh no, it's around this sort of time. It's around this sort of time, a couple of hours earlier than that.
Okay,
you should be good.
Maybe an hour earlier.
So for everyone that's listening, jump into the D group. Oh, Holly's just joined in. Okay, there we go. So no, you can't recruit in our actual podcast, by the way. I've just got to stop that.
No.
No recruiting.
It's easy. Banner, mute her, stop her.
Choose a team, choose my team, jump in there, and we're going to have a bit of fun. All right. Rob, do we think we want to do a quiz? Is that...
Have
we reached that time of the show?
I want to get more recruiting. We need some top... Have we got a plan yet? Can I DS as well? Can I be captain? Because I might not be... My knee might not be fixed then.
Oh, okay. Well, if you can't race, then yeah, for sure. In actual fact, this is going to be broadcast by ZMS Esports Studio. You might be able to commentate.
Oh, yeah. I might be slightly biased.
Well, there'll be two of you, so we'll need to get someone from her team as well, so that way it keeps it even.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yep. Who's her co-host?
I don't know yet.
Who's her co-host?
Only if you can't race, we'll do this.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll
I
see.
hope to race.
But it's going to be cool because we'll each have a beacon, so we'll each be a ride leader in our team, so it'll be really easy to spot us out in the course and see where we are too. So,
did you know that the Normandy landings? I know I keep going on about the Normandy landings now, but I think they only took about 6 months. How comes this race is taking like 2 months? What's going on?
Well, because we just had to find time that we were all available. That's the problem.
Wow, you're so busy.
Yeah,
like bloody hell.
Just lots of stuff.
2 months away.
Yeah. And we're going to do it in September, and then it was October, and then it ended up being November. So, but it's going to be great because it's going to give us time to recruit the teams. We want to try and get as many people into both teams as possible, hundreds if we can. We want to make this a really big event, have lots of fun, get people to participate, and raise money at the same time. So, it's going to be something a bit different. And Darren's saying I need to up my training. You're damn right I need to up my training. Jesus. I'm going to get absolutely hammered. But I do have a couple of strategies up my sleeve.
You can do. Oh yeah, I've got plans as well. I've got plans.
Yeah.
So to take over your team.
That's okay. All right. So there we go. Well, I'll put a link to the event in the description. Well, actually, I'll try and do that now while we're doing the quiz. And people who haven't signed up to the D team, come and sign up to the D team. It's going to be awesome. That's where all the cool kids are. The
loyalists.
Yep. The true fans.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do this thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Now you've done before we do this, while we're bringing it up, I did do the challenge last week.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Did very well.
It was quite interesting actually. It was here we go. So I've got a little snippet of me riding without hands on that same bloody route. And I think I've got the little snippet here of me coming towards the end.
It looks a little bit like a Benny Hill short.
Say it.
It looks a little bit like a Benny Hill short.
I was looking for.
You got the nice little technique by the end, didn't you? You got the a kind of joggy thing going, didn't you?
Well, there was the only thing to keep me from to pushing the pedals. I had to keep.
Yeah. Well, that's it is about transfer of the weight, and you might want to think about if you don't already, actually using that kind of action, but in the drops, to get even more oomph into your sprint.
I think it did help because I was feeling a bit sore in different spots the next day. Admittedly, I had to then do the TTT for the ZRL, so maybe it wasn't such a great idea to do on a Monday. But I was feeling a little bit, around the hips and stuff. And so that was super interesting. So I'm just going to scooch it through to the end. There we go. I think this is about 1K from the end here. And this is the sprint. Now, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get more power. And so you'll see me put the plays down. I'm going to just go for it.
Yeah, mean business. Did you have a power up? Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yep, hit the power up.
You had to hit the power up early, really, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
But that's a great motion.
Got $6 million man vibes.
Oh gosh!
Yeah,
and so I had Sharon next to
man.
me, cheering me on. Come on, you can do it!
Oh, nice.
All right. So at the moment, we're looking at the poll. And so far, the race in one gear only is at 47%. So that's winning. If you haven't voted in the poll, we've got 47 votes in the poll. The poll is pinned to the top of the chat. Go and vote there. But it looks like racing in one gear could take this out this week. Thanks, Paul.
Well, luckily for you, I've fixed the quiz. JD doesn't know this because he's agreed to do it. But because you've been so nice to me this week, edited my video and so on, and just because I generally like you and you've done the challenge last week, I fixed the quiz so that it's in your favour. So no pressure, but you should definitely win.
Now everyone's got to think I'm cheating.
You're not cheating. I've just made it easy for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm really worried about this now. All right, let's get the quiz done now. So, to clarify this, I've not seen any of the questions. He hasn't run any of these past me. I've got no idea what they are, and even though I'm going to be playing the quiz here, I don't know what the answers are. All right, let's get this happening. Got a live game. Oh, no, not that one. This one.
Oh, it's weird. I can't. I'm not joining. I'm always joining. Oh.
All right. So we're going to start this off.
So So the don't forget I'm in charge. I'm in charge of the quiz this week.
I've shut it up.
So go to kahoot.it or scan the QR code, which is presented in front of you on our podcast screen on the YouTubes, and you'll be asked to enter a screen name. Don't just put something about Holly. We can't tell who you are if you just put something about Holly. Think of something original. Oh, that's original. Another EastEnders character. I do like that. Oh, someone's pretending to be. Oh no, maybe it might be a real Rob. It might be Rob G. And then there's a real G. And you get points for getting the question correct, but you also get points for doing it fast. And this week, the first 4 questions, that's the number 4, are all speed questions. So I'm not sure how this is going to work, but there's going to be a picture revealed, and it's a real life route, and it's also a UCI. So it's one from the UCI road finals, but it's also a route that is in Zwift. So there's 4 UCI road world championship routes in Zwift.
Okay.
So there's Richmond, there's Harrogate, there's Innsbruck, and there's one more. What's the other one?
Don't know off the top of my head.
Well,
should I know that?
Well, anyway, there's a 4th one. So it's one of those 4, and all of the first 4 questions are about those. Oh, Glasgow, yeah.
Yep.
But they. It's the city centre finish. But I may just have confused things, have mixed it up so all of them might not be represented. You might have 2 parts of the same route. So you can't just on the 4th one go, oh, it must be the 4th one.
I'm totally confused now.
There's that. So there's going to be a picture of a real live world championships. Yeah. But it will be of one of the 4 routes which are also in Zwift.
Okay.
So Glasgow's also in Zwift, yeah?
We'll give it a shot.
So it might be Glasgow, or it might be Richmond, or Innsbruck, or the other one. I can't remember.
Perfect.
And you only get 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
For the first 4. How many? 26, the biggest quiz by a mile.
Yeah, man.
Wow. The king of Mooback. Oh, JD, that'll be JD. Darren, Vincent, Hutto, Grant Mitchell. Oh, is that 2? Hell's Emporium. Oh, I'm Team Holly. Not all Team Holly. Another traitor. I bet that's. No. G will be great. Chris. Oh, Voigt.
Rob, do you want to tell everyone about
Hell's Emporium is Jen Hall. She's another YouTuber from Calgary.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. What do you call people from Calgary? Calgarians?
Yes,
Calgarians.
Calgarians.
Oh, nice.
That sounds like a sci-fi movie. Rob, do you want to tell everyone about the points, how the points works for those that maybe haven't done this before?
Yeah, so you need to get the question right, but you get even more points. The quicker you answer, the more points you get. The answers for the first 4 questions are in the same place. That might help you because you want to be hovering over what you think is the correct answer.
Okay.
Yeah. and
Wanna do this?
they're all for multiple choice, so you don't have to type anything in. I don't think. Let's go. Oh, Team LGBTQZ.
Yeah, they won
Let's
last week
do
or
it.
the week before. Yep. All right, let's
Oh,
kick into
did
it.
they? Yeah. Let's go.
Let's kick into it. Well, and ITD. Oh gosh, this is going to be tough.
Yeah, the last few questions are about in the drops.
Which UCI World course is this?
Which UCI Worlds course is
come
this? Ooh, there's a bit of a twisty thing going on. Oh, you haven't got long. Oh, most people got Richmond, but a few people went Innsbruck. Yes, Innsbruck hasn't got that twisty things, you idiot. Blimey, what
You
pillars we've
idiots.
got in the quiz. Did you get that one right,
yes, I did.
Nathan?
Yes.
Yay! Oh, someone's pretending to be me.
So yeah. Are you sure you're not playing?
Oh, Void Peter. Yeah. Is that what if that's Peter?
All right. Next question.
Right, second one. Another UCI Worlds course.
Oh gosh. I fucking not. I have no idea.
The winner might give it away if you know you're cycling.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go. Mathieu van der Poel is not in the quiz this week, unfortunately. Otherwise, he would have got that one pretty quick, I would think.
Traitor.
Traitors.
Tremendous. All right.
Okay.
Next question.
Next one. Yeah, another one. A third of the same ilk.
Okay. Yep.
I think this one's a bit trickier.
I'm going to completely guess this one. No.
I even blanked out. Oh, most people guessed wrong.
Yeah.
It does look similar to Harrogate, but Harrogate isn't quite that pleasant. The trees aren't quite as, the leaves on the trees aren't quite as large. Oh, Void PTR takes lead. Do you get? Oh, that's quite a clear lead. Oh, blimey.
That's stretching out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stretching out. But we do have a lot of players though, so let's see how we go. Next question. Which UCI Worlds course is this? Fuck.
Yeah, it's Harrogate. Harrogate. Yeah, that's the stray on the left there. Did you know I got married in Harrogate?
No, you've never said that before.
Yeah, I got just down that road.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I think it's sort of behind where the picture's been taken from. Yeah, it's a lovely place. Right. So I think. Oh, we've got some more general Zwift questions. A couple of general Zwift. I think maybe the AI thing.
Yeah. All right. Next question.
Oh, the rain gave it away. Actually, yeah, that's good.
On which route will the podcaster battle be held? Oh, I know this.
I should hope so. As I said, I have tried to fix it in your favour, so I'm expecting a good performance.
Yes.
No, everyone apart from two.
I thought the correct answer was Yorkshire.
Everything's Yorkshire.
Unfortunately, it appears to be.
Oh, we didn't mention that JD and I are born in the same county of England.
Really?
We're both Cumbrians. Yeah.
Oh, you're from the UK too, JD.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was born in Carlisle.
Oh, right. Oh, well.
The administrative centre of Cumbria.
Can't help everything. Next question. AI generated this picture based on Zwift plus which route name? Oh, gosh. I'm going to go... Oh, you've made them all fucking lava.
No.
What the hell?
What sort of creatures are they?
I don't know. Oh, okay. Sure. Oh, I was pressing on the screen and not on my phone.
Oh, I've done that before. I've lost quizzes in that way. Oh no, that's
and I did choose the right one too. Legends in Lava. Good one. Phil's picked up the pace.
I did a new one rather than reusing the old ones. Yeah.
Well, it's hard getting ChatGPT
Phil Mitchell
to design them. That's the problem.
Yeah. It just goes, I don't know what you're on about, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Phil Mitchell is you probably won't know this, Nathan, but Phil Mitchell is the hard man from EastEnders, so you don't want to knock him off the top. He'll
okay.
I can't do the accent, but he'll
It's
sort you out.
It's going to be hard, is it?
If you
Yeah,
knock him
okay,
off the
gotcha.
top. Yeah.
All right, next question. Who was the guest in the Drops Most Watched episode? Oh, I think I know this.
Eric Lee, Eric Mann, Eric Barfell, or Eric Schlange.
We've had lots of Erics.
Yeah, we should get more. I liked all them episodes, all the Eric episodes. I loved it. Can we find more people called Eric, or do we get the same ones? Eric Min. Oh, we haven't had Eric Min actually, have we?
No, haven't had Eric Min yet.
Oh,
we're trying.
Some people did go for it.
Kind of.
Yeah,
that'll be an interesting episode.
Yeah, well, come on, you'll call him a tosser or something.
Well, Jay Hulse has moved up. G, Ben and Lila.
Oh, it was Eric. Oh, Phil Mitchell. Did Phil Mitchell get it? Oh, no, he's still holding his lead. Oh, that's a solid lead. But I think there's double points next. Oh,
I'm going to need this. I need this. All right, next question.
I think I've made it.
Question number 8. Double points. You are correct. Who was our first guest? Oh, I know this.
Roy Yamahara, Brad Pitt, Sharon Fowler, or Josh Harris?
Oh, no.
Oh my God, don't say you've got it wrong. Do not say you've got it wrong. No. The answer is your wife. The answer is your wife, man. And I put it double points. And you still got it wrong.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
You are kidding me.
Oh, my.
No. I've got
Kidding me, bro.
Oh. Oh, gosh. Don't tell Sharon anyone. Okay, just don't say anything.
That was a disastrous tactical error.
Oh,
fixed it for you.
I sidestepped.
The answer is your wife.
That was the pilot episode before the first one. Oh gosh.
Oh, you can't blame me. Don't blame me.
That was that was. Whew. Okay. All right, let's just move on from that one, shall we? Void's back up. Francis has moved into second spot. Ooh, it's getting interesting now.
It is tight at the top, isn't it? I can't remember the last question either. I can't remember what was that.
All right, question 8. Question number 9.
Oh no, question 9.
Oh, which Zwift levels?
Oh, we haven't mentioned it. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to guess. I did put it in the chat. I did put it in the chat to look for it. So I did put it in the Discord chat. So it's your own fault if you haven't looked.
Oh, it's definitely my fault then. Does JD know? Oh, I got that
lots of people did know. Lots of people did know. So there you go. I don't feel so bad now.
Well done.
You've got to join the Discord if you want to compete in the quiz and get these tips.
Yep. Tips come out.
Oh, but
usually about
did
3 hours. Damo's moved up into 5th spot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a big stretch though, isn't there? Blimey. There's a big gap between 1st and 5th, isn't there? So he's not going to win.
No, he's not. Not in this last question. Is the last question double points or just single points?
No, single points.
Okay.
I'm afraid.
All right. Listen, last question.
But yeah, it's definitely up for grabs.
What's the maximum points you would win in 100 stage 2? Oh, what?
Oh, I've given this 30 seconds. So what's the maximum points you can get in the next race?
Oh, man.
So you can get 100 for the finishing first. You get 20 points for each FAL and 10 points for the FTS. Oh, well, lots of people worked it out. Wow, look at that. Wow, we are a mathematically astute group. Look at that. All right, so third place, Damo moved up in a podium.
That's right. Sprinted at the end there. Francis
second. And Void
I came
PTR.
first. No, that wasn't me.
Would like to know who you are, Void PTR.
Yes.
If you want to announce yourself, you can feel free to
in the chat, or you can remain anonymous, and we'll just wander in mystery.
But yeah, well done.
Yeah, so that was not me.
I think that's going to go down as a legendary moment for you, Nathan, where you got your wife was the answer to a question.
They see YouTube short in your future.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to do that. Because she'll be just like looking through her shorts on YouTube, and I'll just get a smack across the head one afternoon. That won't be good at all. But no, well done, Void. Congratulations. I didn't win, but we're looking at the poll there, and it looks like race in one gear only is the challenge.
Ooh, that is tough. What's the Z Racing course next week?
Turf and surf.
Bad to look. Oh! I thought we were going to review that.
Yeah,
did you know that turf and surf? I'm trying to put together a video of my top 10 wins in Z Racing.
Yep.
And turf and surf is one of them because do you remember when I was doing the streak? And
yes.
I'd won many races in a row. That was my last one that I won.
Right.
And I also won it in fairly decent style as well. There's a ramp through you go up through the cave, don't you? Pain Cave. What's it called?
Yes, you do. Yep.
The Pain Cave with about 5K to go. And I caught a breakaway there and then went straight past him. And it was great. 36th.
All right.
Great.
Here's my challenge then. I've got to try and pick a gear that I can race this in on the flat
16
and climb. It might have to be actually.
Yeah, about 16,
and just
17.
Have to get out of the saddle.
Yeah. Is it 2 laps? Is it 2 laps?
Oh, fuck, I don't know.
Is it 1 lap? I can't remember.
1 lap.
Yeah, 1 lap.
24.6 kilometers.
Yeah.
What do you think, JD? Is there a particular way you would tackle this if you had to race this in one gear?
The biggest one that you can handle.
You can climb in?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even worry about the climb, really. You're just going to grind it out, stand on your pedals the whole time.
Yeah. It seems like it's going to be that way.
So fairly, I'd go fairly large.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's going to be interesting.
There's a lot of flat.
Yeah, there's a fair bit as well. Yeah.
And really there's a fair bit of flat and downhill, and then there's the 2 climbs
that go uphill.
I would stick. You're going to get dropped on the climb in single speed. So that's
so
how it's going to be.
I'm going to
the first one's the Shisha climb, and it is a little bit. It is a bit up and downy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might be all right.
We'll see.
I think I'll win.
Thanks very much. All right, I'll try.
Then again, I thought you'd win that quiz, given though it was designed to help you win.
We've got a lot of knowledgeable people here, so it was a tough effort.
You know more about your wife than you do.
I want to know who got that right. Actually, that's what I want to know. All right. Cool. Okay. So Nathan Georg says Nathan from in the drops to on the couch. Thanks a lot.
Podcast coming soon.
I love how you guys are all on my side. It's really good. Thank you very much. All right. I think that's it, guys. I think where are we? Yeah. Jesus, an hour 42. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, there was so much more I wanted to ask as well, but yeah.
Have you got one question? If you got one question to ask, JD, ask it now.
Oh, how are you so awesome? No, I've absolutely loved having you on, and it's been a great podcast. Thanks, JD.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been great, guys. I appreciate the invites, and it's been a ton of fun. I mean, I enjoy watching the show. Like I said, usually I miss the first hour just because of where work lies. But
yeah, yep. Well, thanks for making the time.
A ton of fun.
Very good. So, yep, thanks very much, everyone. I just want to add, if anyone has any events coming up that they want us to just shout out at the end of the show, just pop it into the Discord channel, and we'll start trying to advertise some of these things that are coming up, like Encini and so forth, and that way you guys can stay across it. But otherwise, thanks very much, Rob. You want to bring us home, buddy?
Yeah. Well, it's been awesome. What a battler JD is. Like literally every set. And take some of that spirit and get out of the saddle and in the drops. Boom.
Bye.